Hello everyone and welcome to Monday. I'll be honest, I shot some video earlier, but the battery died, so I can just kind of quickly re-explain it because I didn't get to shoot very much before the battery died. I should have known better, to be honest, because like for the past maybe 2 days the battery light's been blinking, but I was like, I'll just shoot a little longer. It's not a good idea. Anyway, today I wanted to tell you that replacement plans do not always suck. You're saying replacement plans, do you mean like the electronic replacement plans that Best Buy, Sears, and other electronic retailers sell for inflated prices that are useless and they make a piss load of money off of them? Yes, actually. They do not always suck. Here's why. This is an iPod Touch 5th Gen. Now, if you've been watching for quite some time, or maybe not that long if I've talked about it, although I usually don't, I used an iPod Touch 4th Gen. And ever since I bought it 2 years ago, I kept that thing in my pocket every single day, along with my phone and my camera. As most of you probably know, I don't have a smartphone, I have a dumb phone, and I don't have any kind of data plan, so it was really nice to have an iPod Touch so I could use the internet. But more importantly, I used it for a lot of the apps. There's a lot of good stuff on both iOS and Android, and there's a lot of developers making a lot of cool stuff, so it was nice to have an iPod Touch, especially for game collection. There's a company called Pure Gaming that make iOS apps. They don't make it for Android, unfortunately, and they are fantastic for keeping track of what games are worth, keeping track of your collection, and it's what I use personally for retro game collection. They haven't covered all of the consoles, but a great many of them, so they're working towards making more. Anyway, that's kind of off the beaten path from what I was talking about. I got a replacement plan 2 years ago when I got my iPod Touch 4th Gen. And it was already really expensive, but I put down the extra, I think it was $60 to get the replacement plan. And the reason I did that, because I normally don't do that, the reason I did that is because I bought the iPod Touch originally to replace my flip camera. In my mind, and I don't know why I thought this, I was going to start using that as the camera because then I could get rid of a device in my pocket. I wanted to have the iPod Touch because it was really cool tech, but also I could use it as the vlog camera. Well, that didn't turn out all right. That didn't work out because within 2 days I realized that the camera sucked compared to the flip and that we were going to continue using the flip. The reason I took out the replacement plan is because I knew that in 2 years the battery probably wasn't going to be working quite like it used to, especially if I was going to be recording daily vlogs with it. It was going to kill the battery off really quick, so that's why I got the replacement plan. Anyway, that finally paid off. I didn't think I was ever going to use the thing, but the replacement plan I got was basically the no hassle return it, you get a new one plan. And it just so happens that even though my replacement plan expires November 3rd, I could bring in my 4th Gen iPod Touch, and they would give me a 5th Gen iPod Touch at no cost to me because I'd already bought the service plan. So today I did that. I had been checking the Best Buy website for the past few days, and they finally arrived today, and we went to Best Buy and got one. Now, I called them on the phone and talked to them and made sure that I could do this. I explained the situation clearly, that I had a 4th Gen but wanted a 5th Gen, and they said I could do it. When I got to the store, of course, they gave me a hard time, and I just explained that, I had talked to them on the phone and said that, they told me that it wasn't going to cost me anything, and I had a manager come over and they got it taken care of. Because what they wanted to do was they wanted to charge me the difference, which was $50, and they got that taken off. So now I have a 5th Gen iPod Touch. And I can't say it was at no cost to me. I mean, I did technically pay $60 for the replacement plan, but I think that's a pretty good deal to pay $60 extra to basically get new tech instead of having to buy it over again for $300. Pretty good deal. And I took out another replacement plan on this one. It was a little more expensive than it was last time, but that's okay. And you're probably like, well, why did you do that? Do you plan on doing the same thing again? Well, sort of. I'm thinking that within 2 years, me and Mao might be financially stable enough, or maybe it's just inevitable, that we'll probably have smartphones. Prices are going down. We're both interested in owning iPhones because we have so many Mac devices. iOS just kind of makes sense. And I'm thinking that by that time, the iPhone won't have this ridiculous data plan that costs $1 million. So, in my mind, we're probably going to have iPhones by that time. I won't really need the iPod Touch by then. So if I can replace it and get a brand new one, I will have a brand new sealed iPod Touch and I'll be able to sell that. So essentially, in my opinion, by getting the replacement plan, I made money off of this because the replacement plan was like, I think $80 this time around, and whenever I get it, I will be able to sell that since it'll be a brand new unit for, I mean, they retail for $300, so at least $250. So I probably made money off the deal. It's good. So replacement plans don't always suck, and it's something to think about, especially if you think, in the case of iPod Touch, you can upgrade. You might have to raise a little cane, but you can do it. Or just the fact that maybe in 2 years you're going to be tired of the device, and knowing that you'll be able to get a brand new one, they're going to be a lot easier to sell brand new. So something to think about. Now, most of the time, replacement plans completely suck, and they are a waste of your money. Especially whenever people buy a new computer. I know that a lot of people don't know a lot about computers, but Google your problems. You'll save so much money. I know that the Geek Squad service they offer is ridiculous, but in the case of the iPod Touch, it worked out. So I'm going to use this vlog. I know I've been talking a while, but I want to use this vlog to ask you guys about your replacement plan experiences. Obviously, a lot of them are pretty bad, but some of them can be good. So when have you sprung for the replacement plan and it paid off? And do you guys normally spring for replacement plans? Because I know that some people avoid them like the plague, and other people buy them just, you know, whenever they get offered that at the register. Yes, of course. Because if it breaks, then I want to return it. Although, to be fair, some people break stuff. I have a really good history about not breaking things. In fact, whenever I returned the iPod Touch to the Best Buy, the guy looked it over and said, "Holy cow," he said, "you really took care of this thing." And I was like, "Yeah, I do a pretty good job." The thing looked brand new. To be fair, I also had a screen protector and a case around it for the 2 years I had it, so whenever I took that out, it looked like a brand new unit. I also had the original box, which they really enjoyed. Anyway, talk about those things. I'm going to go ahead and end it here, but as always, thank you so much for watching, and let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?